Why this currency would have destroyed the global economy. Welcome to today's video, where we will embark on an in-depth exploration of a fascinating economic concept that once threatened to disrupt the global economy. Have you ever wondered what would have happened if one man's ambitious plan had been put into action? Would it have led to a revolution in the world of finance? Or would it have plunged us all into economic chaos? Today, we'll dive deep into why Gaddafi's Gold Dinar would have destroyed the global economy. Join me as we delve into the history, the politics, and the potential consequences of this audacious idea. What if the world had shifted towards a new gold-backed currency? And how would it have impacted you, your investments, and the global economy as we know it today? Strap in and let's find out. Before diving into the potential consequences of Gaddafi's plan, let's first lay the groundwork by examining the origins and objectives of the Gold Dinar. Muammar Gaddafi, the former Libyan leader, was a controversial and enigmatic figure. He held a grand vision for a pan-African identity which involved not only political unity, but also economic independence from Western powers. At the heart of this vision was the Gold Dinar, a currency backed by gold, rather than by the trust in a government or financial institution. Gaddafi proposed that the Gold Dinar would serve as the primary currency for African and Muslim nations, with the ultimate goal of replacing the US dollar and the euro as their main trading currencies. This revolutionary idea was motivated by several key factors. 1. Historical context. The concept of a gold-backed currency was not new. In fact, the Gold Dinar was inspired by historical precedents, such as the Islamic Gold Dinar, and the gold standard that once governed global currencies. Gaddafi sought to revive this tradition and align the Gold Dinar with the values of Islamic finance, which prohibits interest and promotes equitable wealth distribution. 2. Economic independence. By creating a gold-backed currency, Gaddafi aimed to free African and Muslim nations from their reliance on Western currencies and financial institutions. This would grant these countries greater control over their economic destinies and reduce their vulnerability to external economic shocks. 3. Wealth redistribution. The Gold Dinar would provide African and Muslim nations with the opportunity to tap into their vast natural resources, particularly gold reserves, to back their currency. This would help redistribute wealth from Western nations back to the resource-rich countries of Africa and the Middle East, potentially elevating their global economic status. Intra-African trade. Gaddafi believed that the Gold Dinar would promote trade among African countries by reducing transaction costs and currency risks associated with exchanging multiple national currencies. This would lead to greater economic integration and cooperation among African nations. Now that we have a solid understanding of what the Gold Dinar was, and the motivations behind Gaddafi's ambitious plan, let's explore why it posed such a threat to the global economy, and how it could have potentially disrupted the financial world as we know it. A gold-backed currency like the Gold Dinar would have had several significant implications on the global economy. Let's explore them in detail. Threat to the US dollar's dominance. The US dollar has been the world's reserve currency since the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944. This status grants the US enormous economic power and influence. A gold-backed currency like the Gold Dinar would have challenged this dominance, potentially undermining the value of the US dollar. What do you think would have happened to your investments if the US dollar lost its status as the world's reserve currency? Impact on debt-based economies. Most modern economies function on a debt-based system, with central banks creating money through lending. This system relies on the ability to create money out of thin air, backed only by the promise of future repayment. A gold-backed currency, like the Gold Dinar, would have required physical gold reserves to back every newly issued currency unit. How would that have affected global debt levels, interest rates, and economic growth? Commodity price fluctuations. Tying a currency to gold would have inevitably linked its value to the fluctuating price of gold. As a result, economies using the gold dinar would have been exposed to unpredictable shifts in their currency's value, potentially causing economic instability. Can you imagine the consequences of such fluctuations on businesses and consumers in countries using the gold dinar? Disruption to the global financial system. The introduction of a gold-backed currency like the gold dinar would have necessitated a fundamental change in the global financial system. Banks, governments, and businesses would have had to adapt to the new currency, potentially causing economic disruption and uncertainty. How would the world have coped with such a massive shift in the financial landscape? Impact on international trade. The widespread adoption of the gold dinar would have altered the dynamics of international trade. Countries using the gold dinar might have experienced increased trade barriers, as other nations attempted to protect their own currencies and economies from the new gold-backed currency. Furthermore, as the value of the gold dinar fluctuated with the price of gold, it could have led to unpredictable shifts in trade balances, creating winners and losers in the global marketplace. How would international trade have adapted to such a paradigm shift? Effect on gold-producing countries. If the gold dinar had become a reality, gold-producing countries would have experienced increased demand for their precious metal. This surge in demand could have led to higher gold prices and, in turn, boosted the economies of these countries. However, this newfound wealth and power might have also sparked political tensions, rivalries, and even conflicts as nations vied for control over gold resources. What would the consequences of such a power struggle have been for global stability? Encouraging hoarding of gold reserves. The adoption of the gold dinar would have incentivized countries to hoard gold reserves to maintain the value of their currency. This hoarding could have led to a reduction in the global supply of gold, causing gold prices to skyrocket and further increasing the value of the gold dinar. How would this cycle have affected global financial markets and the stability of the global economy? Gaddafi's gold dinar plan was not only an economic threat, but also an international trade. Countries using the gold dinar might have experienced increased trade barriers, as other nations attempted to protect their own currencies and economies from the new gold-backed currency. Furthermore, as the value of the gold dinar fluctuated with the price of gold, it could have led to unpredictable shifts in trade balances, creating winners and losers in the global marketplace. How would international trade have adapted to such a paradigm shift? Effect on gold-producing countries. If the gold dinar had become a reality, gold-producing countries would have experienced increased demand for their precious metal. This surge in demand could have led to higher gold prices and, in turn, boosted the economies of these countries. However, this newfound wealth and power might have also sparked political tensions, rivalries, and even conflicts as nations vied for control over gold resources. What would the consequences of such a power struggle have been for global stability? Encouraging hoarding of gold reserves. The adoption of the gold dinar would have incentivized countries to hoard gold reserves to maintain the value of their currency. This hoarding could have led to a reduction in the global supply of gold, causing gold prices to skyrocket and further increasing the value of the gold dinar. How would this cycle have affected global financial markets and the stability of the global economy? Gaddafi's gold dinar plan was deeply intertwined with politics on both regional and global levels. Let's delve deeper into the political dimensions of the gold dinar proposal and how it could have influenced international relations and global dynamics. 1. Challenging the West. The gold dinar was more than just an economic proposal. It was a direct challenge to the dominance of Western financial institutions and the global influence of the United States and its allies. By proposing a gold-backed currency, Gaddafi sought to reduce the power of Western countries in Africa and the Muslim world, ultimately shifting the balance of global political influence. Pan-Africanism and Muslim unity. Gaddafi was a staunch advocate for Pan-Africanism and Muslim unity, believing that these regions could be stronger if they banded together. The gold dinar was a tangible representation of this vision, aiming to facilitate economic cooperation and foster a sense of unity among these nations. This unification would have had significant political implications, as a more cohesive Africa and Muslim world could have potentially emerged as a formidable global force. The geopolitical ripple effect. The introduction of the gold dinar would have created ripples in the geopolitical landscape, affecting the relationships between Western countries, African nations, and the Muslim world. As Western powers sought to maintain their influence, they would have been forced to re-evaluate their approach to foreign policy and diplomacy in these regions. Additionally, the potential rise of new power centers in Africa and the Middle East would have compelled countries to forge new alliances and partnerships, further reshaping the global political map. The role of the African Union and the Arab League. Gaddafi's gold dinar proposal would have required the support of key regional organisations such as the African Union, AU, and the Arab League. These organisations would have played a crucial role in the adoption and implementation of the gold dinar, which could have bolstered their political influence on the world stage. This rise in prominence could have led to a more assertive and proactive approach to addressing regional challenges, such as conflicts, poverty, and economic development. By understanding the political dimensions of Gaddafi's gold dinar plan, we can better appreciate the potential upheaval it could have caused in the global power structure. This ambitious proposal went beyond economics and aimed to redefine the political landscape of the world, posing a formidable challenge to established norms and systems. Now that we've explored the economic and political implications of the gold dinar, let's examine the potential consequences of its implementation. Economic instability. The gold dinar could have caused significant volatility in the global economy. As countries transitioned to the new gold-backed currency, businesses and consumers would have had to adapt to an entirely new financial landscape. Would the world have been ready for such a dramatic change? Redistribution of wealth and power. The gold dinar would have had the potential to redistribute wealth and power among nations, particularly benefiting countries with large gold reserves. This shift could have led to new economic powerhouses emerging in Africa and the Muslim world. What would that have meant for the existing world order? Potential for conflict. The implementation of the gold dinar could have heightened tensions between nations, particularly as Western powers sought to maintain their economic and political dominance. The struggle for control over gold reserves and influence in the region could have led to increased conflicts and tensions. How would the world have navigated these dangerous waters? Environmental consequences. The increased demand for gold due to the gold dinar would have likely led to a surge in gold mining, with potentially devastating consequences for the environment. Gold mining is known for its destructive impact on ecosystems and local communities, as well as for contributing to climate change through deforestation and the release of greenhouse gases. How would the world have balanced the economic benefits of the gold dinar with its environmental costs? Inflationary pressures. As the value of the gold dinar fluctuated with the price of gold, countries using the currency might have experienced periods of inflation or deflation, making it difficult for central banks to manage their economies effectively. How would these inflationary pressures have impacted economic growth and stability in gold dinar countries? In conclusion, Gaddafi's gold dinar was a bold and ambitious plan that sought to challenge the existing global financial order. While the idea of a united Africa with a single gold-backed currency was certainly intriguing, its implementation would have had far-reaching and potentially disastrous consequences for the global economy. The gold dinar would have threatened the US dollar's dominance, disrupted the global financial system, caused widespread economic instability, and potentially incited conflicts between nations. Moreover, the environmental consequences of increased gold mining and the challenges of managing inflationary pressures would have further complicated the global economic landscape. While it's impossible to predict exactly what would have happened if the gold dinar had become a reality, one thing is clear: its introduction would have marked a seismic shift in the world's economic and political order. As we ponder this fascinating what-if scenario, let us be grateful for the relative stability of our current financial system and hope that future leaders carefully consider the global consequences of their actions. As we reach the end of this fascinating exploration into Gaddafi's gold dinar and its potential impact on the global economy, I'd like to invite you to become a part of our growing community of inquisitive minds. If you found this video insightful and thought-provoking, please do us a favour and hit that subscribe button below. By subscribing, you'll not only be supporting our channel, but you'll also stay up to date with our latest content on a wide range of intriguing topics, just like this one. And while you're at it, don't forget to click on the notification bell icon to ensure that you never miss an opportunity to expand your knowledge and engage in captivating discussions. We truly appreciate your support, and we can't wait to continue providing you with content that sparks your curiosity and broadens your understanding of the world around us. So go ahead, click that subscribe button and join our community of knowledge seekers today. We look forward to exploring new ideas and unraveling complex mysteries together. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next video.